This is the Aftermarket Radio Network.
Hey everybody, Carm Capriato, Remarkable Results Radio. Day 2, AARO, here in Toronto, Canada, the Automotive Aftermarket Retailers of Ontario, AARO.ca. Thanks for having us out here. I'm with Murray Voth. Hey.
Hey, guys. Good morning.
I'm having a blast.
Yeah, it's been a good weekend.
Canadians are just, too much fun.
You bet they are.
I got to tell you, there's one thing that I've noticed about every 10 or 11 words, Canadians use the word out.
I guess because I'm a Canadian, I didn't notice that.
Oh, yeah. We've got to go out. It's out there.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
OUT.
It's the same as about. About.
Really? Is it about or is it just OUT?
It's any word that has OUT in it, is that we do it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm blown away by that.
Yeah. But we don't notice it because we do it all the time.
Yeah. Interesting. The exchange rate between the U.S. I mean, there's so much fun to talk about it, but the great shop owners here.
Oh, yeah.
It's a management conference. It's a technology conference. Brandon Steckler and Scott Schottner here doing some Lindertech training, legacy stuff, and having so much fun, meeting so many great people. Registration is now open for AAPEX 2024, November 5th through the 7th. You know, AAPEX will build upon the incredible success of Joe's Garage, a 10-bay working environment. From hands-on to the best training, if you earn your living in the auto service aftermarket, AAPEX is for you. Visit AAPEXshow.com. Hey, for over 30 years, NAPA Trax has made selecting the right shop management system easy by offering the best, most comprehensive SMS in the industry. We'll prove to you that Trax is the single best shop management system in the business. Find NAPA Trax on the web at NAPATRACS.com. Also, thanks to AftermarketManagementNetwork.com for information that can help you move your business ahead, and for the free and informative LaborRateTracker.com. And before we turned on the mic, we were talking about education. And, Murray was thinking about college. Tracy was thinking about college. And the point where every class you miss, you'll lose a grade point was so powerful. Because I don't remember that back in the day, and Tracy does. I can only relate that to missing a conference, to missing a webinar, by not being in a 20 group. Even if you don't want to participate, you were telling me, all right, come and be a wallflower, but learn and then do things about it. You may not have to have any feedback, but just be there. What a profound statement. If you don't go, you're going to lose a grade point. If you're listening to this and you're in the top tier, thank God you are. Appreciate your listenership. And if you're listening because you come here to listen and learn just one thing, think of that. If you don't go to class, you're going to lose a grade point. And that could be 5 to 10% net operating income, or that could be life-sustaining profits.
Right. Yeah, it's one thing to go from, an A+ to an A or an A to an A- in an anthropology class. That was my anthropology professor. Now the world knows that I'm a nerd. Murray studied anthropology when he was a kid.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. There was a different track in my mind at the time. So, and here we are, right? But the direct connection, like you just said, Carm, to net. Let me bring the context of how I started thinking about this was with my own group members, and I love them dearly. Yeah. And you saw how many of my peeps are here, right?
I know. I mean, he's from the other side of the continent. And you got all these great clients here
in Ontario. Yeah. And I, shout out to the ones that do listen. And you met some of them. You actually interviewed some of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I feel like based on that room, we had a third of the conference with our clients. Nice. I'm so proud of them.
So they came to see you.
Probably, but hey. And here's the thing, right? A lot of them, it's all on Zoom right now, and people complain about it. But is it about making more money and having a lot better lives? Or is it always touching and hugging and feeling? I mean, I understand the need for in-person, and that's what conferences are for.
Yeah.
So we're on Zoom, and so 4 or 5 of them never met each other because they're in different groups. I don't put people regionally now that we're on Zoom, right? I kind of mix and match software, personalities, sort of a fit. And you know what? I've only made 2 mistakes in 6 years, and we fixed them in terms of choosing who to put somewhere for a fit, right?
I get it, yeah.
Yeah, so, David Coelho that was here is, a foot taller than he looks like on Zoom, and we were teasing him about that because...
Oh, well, stop. I mean, truly, Carlos Abuco.
Yeah.
He's like 6 something.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm old and I'm shrinking, right? And I've met Carlo, I think 1 or 2 other times. And, when I go up to people, I always say, taller than me, hi. And Tracy met him for the first time. You got to get on your tippy toes to give him a hug, right?
Yeah.
And it's great to meet the people that we only know in, if you will, 2D, not 3D.
Yeah, exactly. So it occurs to me though, and again, like I love them all and they're all working on their businesses, but there's the ones that show up at all our sessions because we have a mix of different styles of things we do. We have group, we have a digital specialist, Doug, you had on your show.
Yeah.
And then we have special sessions with special guests. I have HR people. We have a group plan person booked. We have marketing companies come on to talk to them and we record them. They go into a vault so the owners can have that. And it occurred to me that there are group members, they're at the benchmark plus of 20% net and, they've got great cash flow and money growing in their investments in their bank accounts and stuff. And what's the difference? The difference is they show up to everything, right? And then some people might say, well, they're such keeners or they're nerds or whatever. But the thing is somehow in their life, they have recognized that there's always something to learn at every episode. Now I said the word episode because I'm thinking of your
what we do.
Tagline.
What we do is episodic. I mean, you've got content,
right.
and committed people to be in your, if you will, virtual 20 group.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we go back to this whole net thing is, what is your monthly group meeting going to do for you for your net profit? What are you going to learn? So maybe that's the numbers meeting, right? We talk about all of us experts and consultants and stuff talk about, numbers and measuring. So you're going to learn that your numbers can need improvement in an area and you're going to learn the tools in that group session to do that. So what happens when you show up at your individual coaching session with your coach? You bring a topic or a question for your coach to work through, or you show up without a topic or a question. And now the coach has to, which is fine. We ask diagnostic questions to see where you're at, things like that. What would that do for another 0.5 point net that month or whatever? And then, you come to either an event like this, or you come to I have an all group session where all group members can just come and meet each other for 2 hours.
Okay.
And there's one rule. You bring a topic. It's my favorite meeting because I don't have to prepare. I just show up and turn on Zoom and they're all there. And you guys, we go from the cost of uniforms, the cost of garbage pickup to employee issues and no shows and, whatever. And then we just go for 2 hours and we just go back and forth and learn. How much net profit are you gained by learning those pieces, right? By showing up to that meeting. Now, I understand we have lives and things like that, but here's the key thing for our listeners is none of us know what we don't know.
Yeah.
And it's at these events, in the coaching groups, in the meetings, is where the topics come up, the questions come up. And something that I have learned with my people, and, we've talked about my coach, Brenda, and how she's helped me. I get my frustration. I want to help people. I want people to come along and stuff like that. And every once in a while, somebody will have a roadblock or something will keep them from making a change. Or I'll talk about how they show up and they are the wallflower. They won't put their hand up and ask a question. They won't bring a topic. And I've realized by calming down and asking questions that they're feeling intimidated. None of them are public speakers, or few of them are.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, they think their problem is so small, they don't want to bring it up. So I've been working at this consciously with myself. And then we have another group of part-time coaches some of them are actually naturals at this. Bruce Williams is really good at probing people to ask questions about where they're at. But in our all group session now, somebody brought up a topic and they even used the words, guys, you probably all have got this figured out, or this is just a small thing, but can I ask it? And we said, yeah, come on. And 35 minutes later, we gave him most of the agenda time. We said, listen, everybody, you see that? He thought he was the only one. He thought it was simple, but he thought, and look at that. We spent 35 minutes on this thing. And honestly, guys, we're going to have a 2-hour special on this because, we need to bring an expert in because, we solved a lot of it for him, but I think we probably need to bring somebody in on this topic just so that we keep all of our I's dotted and T's crossed and whatever it was, whether it was HR or, maybe a customer was having an issue. And that piece is, there's no problem too small. I'm telling my people, there is no problem too small. Now, if we solve it in a 2-minute discussion, high five, move on to the next owner, right?
Answer me this question. Somebody brings up a topic, an issue that they have. There ends up becoming 5 or 6 different really good solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a struggle for the individual to try to pick one, or are they developing hybrid answers to all the positivity that they're hearing?
I would lean towards that. They're all hardworking, smart people. Like, if I could digress momentarily, there's people that don't sign up for coaching because they feel intimidated, but they also feel like they know it all or whatever, or they feel like we're going to call them dumb. That's where I was going to go with it, is a lot of people, shop owners, feel intimidated by experts because they feel like we're going to insult them or whatever. But no, my people are smart.
Mm-hmm.
They're hard work. They just needed other information. But back to your point, Carm, is the 6 versions that come out gives them perspective to choose, right? Because there may be a smaller shop or they may be more rural, right? And it gives them a chance to talk to 6 other people.
Murray, do people in our industry not want to be coached because they don't want to be found out?
I think part of it is they don't want to be found out. They're afraid that they're going to be found out of things that they don't even know.
They don't know what they don't know. And I don't want to be able to admit it and look in the mirror and say, I didn't know that. Yeah. So I'm going to stumble through, I'll watch a TV show tonight. Maybe I'll watch a commercial and it'll teach me something. Duh. You can't get your life's knowledge to run a business and lead people by not immersing yourself with the industry that you're in and the people that do what you do every day.
Exactly.
And maybe this is the one profound moment that someone's listening to this episode with me and Murray Voth and say, wow, okay, you finally kicked me in the ass. Thank you I needed the slap upside the head. How many people have I known in my life says you got to get an expert, get a coach, get an accountability partner to work with you. I tell them my little story about my coaching, the coach that I had when I started the podcast. And then they say, yeah, I should have done it a long time ago.
Or Carm, the person that needs the arm around the shoulder or the hug or just, I'm listening.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's this tendency in the male-centric industry that we're in to be competitive and to use language like kick in the butt and all that kind of stuff, when there are some coaches out there that use that really aggressive tactic. I mean, if you watch sporting, who was that coach of the Chicago Bears back in the day?
Oh, God.
Who probably nowadays would be in jail for his leadership tactics, right? Then other coaches.
Bear Bryant?
I don't remember his name.
Sorry.
But you guys remember, we're talking the 90s now, but then you think about John Wooden, the college basketball coach, right? And Wooden's coaching techniques. He never yelled. He never screamed. He read his book, he did a lot of putting an arm around people and saying, hey, you got this. We can do this. Hey, I'm here to listen. Talk to me about stuff like that. So, and some people need a steady hand. And believe it or not, there are people that want that ass kicking. That's how they learn. They appreciate it, right?
But you said something 10 minutes ago that I wrote down. Be a nerd. I don't know why, but I loved that. Because to your point, I'm rough, I'm rugged. Don't tell me I got this long beard, I got tats. You could be a great business person if you would just expose yourself a little bit to learn the kind of details that maybe nerds would. Oh my God, my buddy, he's got such a great business. I think he's a nerd.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be a nerd, but maybe privately you need to learn how to be a nerd.
Yeah. And, be a cool one. It's okay.
Be a cool
one, right? You don't have to, be a nerd in what you're interested in, right? Don't be like Murray, who went out for Indian food the other night and while he was eating, was reading on Wikipedia about basmati rice. Why would I need that information? I don't know. It's kind of just a different rice, a different flavor. I got to find out how it was invented.
Maybe because you're a nerd.
Right. Okay. But, I got Tracy's going to get the giggles from, I bet you I could get her so she couldn't even still run her computer.
Yeah, I know.
More stories.
Yeah. By the way, RPM training. I never even told anyone your company, but you've been on enough. I think people know the Murray man. All right.
Yeah. We're talking about every meeting, every session could be, half a point net or things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking about the need for just networking and the feeling, but almost everything I do is Zoom. I do have live courses. We do a few of them. I've got to tell you the best thing about the Zoom coaching. I want the world to hear this. I was doing it before. I had one group. So for me to convert back in March 16th, 2020, it took me an hour and we were going, right? Had everybody converted. But Google Business Profile, as a business owner, you need to understand that thing, whether you're paying a marketing agency to run it for you or not, right? But you need to understand that you need to own it and how key that is to your presence on the internet and in the world, right? So I had already been doing training in my live groups pre-COVID. And we'd gone over it, talked about it. I have mine on my screen for my company, but I can't put a shops up because I don't have a shops access, right? There's people with laptops in the room using it to take notes and, so there was technology in the room. That's how we did things then. So we all go on Zoom. We have to communicate, right? We're an essential service. We have to tell the world that we're open and here's our COVID protocols and here's how we're going to do things. And I'm like, people were telling me, like experts, the Google Business Profile is where you got to get your people on and make sure that they're communicating. So in the meetings, share your screen with me. because you couldn't do that before. Share your screen with me. Carmen Tracy, of all my clients, 2 had remembered to go to their Google Business Profile. All of the other ones said, huh? What are you talking about? I said, we talked about that 2 meetings ago. I don't remember. They take notes in a live meeting and then they go back. And they're busy now. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of neurological studies about how much you learn just being with people. I get that. But we have to talk about cost effectiveness. We have to talk about time savings, travel savings for me, for goodness sakes. We were talking about how challenging travel is getting these days. I was able to coach every single client on how to use that, and to be involved and engaged in it. And as we proceeded, they didn't know where their parts matrix settings were in their software. They didn't know how to do this report in their software. Now, I don't know their software. I couldn't start a repair order in AutoLead, Protractor, or ShopMonk. I couldn't service advise, but I can tell you in almost all of them where to find the numbers that I need. That's what I care about. And that has been so powerful to be able to share your screen with me. Here, I'm going to share my screen with you. And the learning that these owners are having and then they share screens with each other. I have my Zoom setting so that anybody, you only one at a time, but and I'll have another owner say, share your screen. And so I can have a subject matter expert on that software in the group or a subject matter expert in something else, because all owners know things that other owners don't know. That's the other part. Yeah. All owners know something that other owners don't know. I don't care how small, how new. It's so funny to watch the newest members and some of the smaller shops come on and they're in their first or their second meeting and they'll say, hey, can I ask a question? This is kind of how I was doing it. And I'm just wondering if that was okay. And all the other group members, they've been doing this for 20 years, look at the guy and go, how come I never thought of that? And then he's got a big smile on his or her face that I knew something that they didn't know. And I'm in my second meeting.
AAPEX 2024 and Joe's Garage is your main destination to experience the best business management and technical training. You'll find training for ADAS calibration, high voltage vehicle technology, advanced drivability, diagnosing turbo problems, ultrasonic diagnostics, and fixing the nose start, among others. Go to AAPEXshow.com to register and see all your course options. Business management sessions will include driving shop profits through shop production, revolutionizing service advising, what Gen Y and Z are looking for in the workplace, building a dream team, and designing recession-resilient SOPs. Many of the industry's top trainers will lead the training, including Eric Ziegler, Greg Bunch, Rich Falco, Rick White, Cecil Bullard, Bill Haas, and Sarah Frazier, along with Keith Perkins, Isaac Rodell, and Robert Kenny, just to name a few. These sessions were picked from a panel of shop owners who reviewed more than 400 submissions. In addition, Joe's Garage will feature live car training sessions, including everything EV, Tesla drive train problem solving, an overview of Tesla information resources, and factory scan tools. This year, many training topics align with ASE certification tests, which will help participants prepare for certifications noted in session descriptions. There is an AAPEX special seminar package, which includes 5 training sessions of your choice. For more information and to register for AAPEX 2024 in Las Vegas, November 5th through the 7th, go to AAPEXshow.com. Let's face it, your shop management system is the single most important tool in your shop, period. NAPA Trax was built from the ground up to make your business more profitable and efficient. We provide an extensive set of tools to increase and track profitability in real time. NAPA Trax offers the industry's best post-sale support, hands down, and we train your people on site. Yep, on site. And we offer remote refresher training 10 times a week, and customer support is open 6 days a week. Give us a call, visit the website, or join our Facebook community today to learn more. We'll prove to you that Trax is the single best shop management system in the business. NAPA Trax is always customized and tailored for you, whether you're a one-man shop or a large multi-bay or multi-location company. After all, it's your shop, so it's your choice. Visit us on the web at NAPATrax, that's NAPATRACS.com. Hey, did you know at AutomotiveManagementNetwork.com you can find an SOP, a checklist, forms, along with policies and procedures that can help you move your business ahead? Well, sometimes you just need a little motivation to write a policy if only you had something to review and then make your own. You can save so much valuable time when you can grab a document from our library, make a few adjustments for your shop, and move to your next task. There are more than 350 searchable documents, with new documents arriving soon at AutomotiveManagementNetwork.com.
You were talking about notes a while back. I'm a note taker. She knows it.
I sat beside you at the other presentation. I noticed that.
Yeah, just look in front of me. I got some secret notes. I got some public notes. I'm a note taker. I use software to keep the notes just in case I forget them or something happens or I lose my sheets. There was a point in time in my life when I had so many notes, it overwhelmed me. And I said, I'm never going to get this done, almost throw it away and start fresh. But I got over that hump and said, thank God I'm clearing my mind so that I could be creative and do other things. I can lead my people, do all that stuff. And if you're not a note taker, I guess my point is maybe become one. And if you are one, but you have too many, don't be overwhelmed by it. Pick one or two. And as a coach and as an expert to people, maybe one of the things is, it's time now. Hold up your notes. I want to see them. Okay. And you can say, okay, what are you going to do next week out of that list that you feel are important to improve your people, your leadership, your business? And I want to encourage people that with all the incoming, all of it that we have, what do they say? Our attention span is what, that of a snail or a gnat or something like that? Social media.
Yeah.
I'm swishing the screens. We don't stop long enough, but we do have brilliant ideas. We hear things that we know we need to fix. We know things we have to improve. We're managing by walking around. We're with our people and we care about them and their world and their life. How do you sort all this stuff out?
Yeah.
Maybe we just need to have a seminar on what do you do with your notes?
So now you're intimidating me. I do take notes to a degree. I've slowed down on that because my handwriting has always been bad. And as I've aged and some pinched nerve issues and stuff, I don't write very well. So I can't even read them. Although I still do. If I'm a listener, if I'm a participant, I take notes because it helps with retention. If I'm managing a meeting, I've gone to digital because I can type better than I can write. Just for the record, when I went to school in my generation, we had handwriting class, which was separate. We have a different teacher for handwriting in elementary school.
They don't teach that today, do they?
Oh, no. My wife has just decided herself that they're eliminating cursive writing from school.
Our
grandchildren are going to learn cursive writing, and they're probably going to be the only two little kids in all of Vancouver that know how to do it, but my wife's going to teach them.
What if you become a celebrity and people says, hey, can I have your signature, sign your picture?
You're just going to get printing or stick figures, right? But so anyways, so I guess what happened to me? I got kicked out. They gave up on my handwriting.
No.
So I just got to read more.
Way back then, huh?
Oh, yeah. I used to go from the school I went to, there was kindergarten 1, 2, and 3 was in one class, and then 4, 5, and 6. I would go to the 4, 5, and 6 library to read because the little kids' books were boring, right? So I've been reading forever. But anyways, back to this handwriting thing. So even you're intimidating me. This is how we do it now.
Why am I intimidating you?
Because I've watched you, like I sat beside you yesterday, and you're so organized, and you've got all these notes, and you can read them. And I'm like, holy Moses, you should see my sheets. I don't want anybody even to see my people.
Don't ask Tracy what my desk looks like.
Anyways, so what we've done is we use a Google Doc that everybody has access to.
Sure.
And something that my wife, Loretta, insisted on many years ago as I started coaching, because I would write the action plans or type them. I was writing them in the early years in a notebook, and then I had to transfer them and whatever. So then I typed them. She said, whose action plans are they, Murray? Well, she said, then why are you writing them? You guys got to meet her one of these days. And
I'd love to.
Good point. So now they all log into that document and they do their action plans. They type them themselves. And then at the end of the meeting, we review the action plans together. So that's that accountability piece you were talking about, right? So we all see their notes. Okay. All people in the meeting are watching.
You're inspiring me back. Okay. Thank God I charged your think here about taking notes. Of course, our good friend and Aftermarket Radio Network partner, Matt Fonslow, has discussed and talks about, keeping a Google Doc and writing down all the things that you're learning as a diagnostician, as a technology specialist on every vehicle so that you can go back and search. I think a car was here a year ago like that, and bam, it came up, and it could help guide you maybe for a repeat offense or something. Okay. And here I'm thinking about your access to this Google Doc for everyone. What you really have, it seems to me, as an expert, as a coach, is you have got this live case study of ideas that people can go into and search and say, what about, boom. It's a tremendous idea as being a member of the Murray program.
Well, we have a Google Drive.
Yeah.
That has
all kinds of
stuff. HR
stuff.
section, all that. And there's stuff that I've created over the years. There's stuff that other people have given me. There's stuff that we have borrowed. There's stuff that other shop owners give me. There's a guy named Mike Wheeler, shout out Mike in Edmonton, who's amazing creator of things for his company. And he has a newsletter that he creates for his clients. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, I want to do a newsletter, but how do I start? Well, you look at his.
Go to Mike's newsletter, right? Go to Bernie's newsletter. How do I do the follow-up phone call thing? There's a script. If there's a topic that we find out about, we document it and we store it and then go find it, right? I mean, I don't know what I don't know either. So there's things that I don't know that we're going to run across. But you know what I learned as a young person? And my dad taught me this, how to find stuff.
I got to stop for a moment. Yeah. The whole coaching thing, the whole, hire an expert thing. I don't think we've ever talked about this on the podcast. If you join an organization like a Murray's or all the other great coaches that I know in the industry, they all have portals. They all have to sign on to get additional information. And again, I'm sure if you sat down with a brand new potential client, they were asking you questions, you were asking them questions. And at the end, you'd say, oh, and by the way, as a member, you get all these resources. This isn't me working with you. It's not being our peer groups and all that stuff. But, on your very own, you don't have to be on a Zoom call. You don't have to be in a peer group meeting. You can always go back to the well.
Yes.
Are we as coaching people excelling the resources that we have?
That's a good point. I probably don't. There's an assumption on my part that it comes with it, but maybe I don't talk enough about it.
There's so much available in the network that you don't have to be in the network to get. You just have to be a member of the group.
Yeah, exactly. Right. The one thing that I do talk about, that I have mentioned several times, is we don't record any individual sessions, but we record all the group stuff, the special guests, and that goes in the vault, and they all have a login that they can go. If they miss a meeting, we have it there. You go back and miss a meeting. And I actually have clients that will listen to their meeting they missed while they drive to work.
Nice.
I mean, hey, Dan, I'm thinking of you, buddy.
Tell me about how many of your clients reach out to each other on a one-to-one basis.
There's some. I wish they would do more. We have a Slack chat. I don't know if you remember me resisting using Slack a few years ago, and you were explaining to me how passionately how Slack was working.
And maybe I was.
Anyways.
You brought it on, huh?
Brought it on.
Cool.
There's people that aren't using it, and there's people that are talking to each other, and I just want to encourage them more to use that.
It's so cool to be able to just see, somebody asking you a question. Yeah. It's right there. It's highlighted.
Yeah.
And you guys could go at it and share documents. I don't think we could do the business that we do without Slack.
Yeah. So, and now I think that some of them met each other at the conference here. They're not going to make connection faces to names, and chances are they'll probably connect a little more on.
Did you have a Murray get together?
I wanted to. That was the intention.
Yeah.
But between all of them and all of, meeting with you guys and other friends, past clients, there's people that I worked with a different company that are now they're being coached by somebody else, but we're still acquaintances or friends. I was bouncing around like a pinball yesterday.
What's so great is Alan Beach was up. He was a coach.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you were sitting next to me in the back of the room. And he would say, hey, Murray. Mm-hmm. And you go back. Murray was a part of Alan's presentation. And I'm not sure if Alan was a part of yours. Yeah. There is such a fraternity.
Yes.
In the expert zone here.
Yeah.
I really love the word expert versus coach because I think coach may have a little negative connotation. But for everyone to understand the value to hire a person who's been there and done that, and even if they haven't lived life to the depth of the issues that you have, boy, can their resources help you through things. Yeah. That to me means that there's an expert.
Yeah. And he did. He had some other responsibilities during part of my presentation, but he wasn't part of it.
Yeah.
And we were going back and forth. And then there was two other really good shop owners that, I've known for years, and we went back and forth. So it's really nice to have people in the room to ask a good question or to bounce something back, right? To maybe add an additional feature to it. As a presenter, you're on your feet, you're thinking, 2 steps ahead of what you're saying. It's always nice to stop, take a breath, and have somebody sort of tell the room something, right? So that was, we were bouncing back and forth. That was amazing.
I just want to tease the audience. Murray and I established a really cool episode that we're going to do in the future called Regrets. And I just want to tease the audience because I am so excited to want to do this. And we're going to reach out to our great friend, psychologist Dave Wyman, to be on to talk about how we live with regrets. Once we, 10 years later, realize I can make all this money because I hired a coach, and the regrets that you drag forward because of what you didn't do earlier in your life. And there's a lot of other things in regrets. And I just want to tease you all about that because I think it would be a very, very powerful episode to do on our network. Yeah, great. So thank you for that.
So let's go back to the things that we don't know.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm in a Zoom call with a client, and he was having a challenging employee. I was thinking about dismissing him. Obviously, for the listeners here, we have all kinds of different laws in different states and provinces and countries. In his particular province, you have to pay severance. There's conditions. There's an assumption that if you follow this one set of laws, the most you have to pay is 8 weeks of wages.
Yeah, in Canada, you've got some weird laws up here.
Yeah.
All right.
And, some of them I don't mind because it protects the employee, because there can be a lot of abuse, right? But also it makes it a bit more difficult in some circumstances to get rid of the deadwood, right?
Do you guys copy what California does?
I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly don't know. But anyway, so the owner's thinking that the worst this is going to cost him is 8 weeks' wages, because that's the statute,
Wow.
right? No matter how long somebody's been working with you. For all the Canadian listeners, I think we can go into this just to make sure because they don't know what they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There's a week of pay for every year of work to a maximum of 8. And then after that, it cuts off, right? If you've been there 20 years, all you get is 8 weeks, is what most business owners think. Well, then there's something called common law, which that employee then, after you've let them go and paid them the 8 weeks, goes, that's not fair. I was with you for 13 years, 15 years. I'm now 52 years of age, and it's going to take me a year and a half to find a job. And so I'm going to take you to court. And the judge will override the statute. They're allowed to do that. And by common law state, you must pay this technician, let me tell you the ones that, in this case, $96,000, because it was going to be the full year and a half, right? That's the common law. But if you have an employment contract that your employees sign before they start with you, you can have it signed that you only offer statutory severance. They can never come back after you. But how many shop owners actually know that Canadian law that you actually need to have an employment contract? You wouldn't believe how many people don't know that you have to have an employment contract. The employment contract protects you from all this garbage. The government has rules, but if the employee signs the rules, then everybody knows what we're talking about. So luckily, he hadn't done anything yet. He went white. We're on Zoom, and the blood drained from his face. And I said, dude, you didn't know this? No, I didn't know this. I said, so let's get you talking to an HR company. He chose a company to do that. It cost him $12,000. They did a working severance. So the guy did work while he was there for that period. And he refused to sign further paperwork. And they pushed his toolbox out up to you, and he's gone. The culture in that shop, this guy makes a 30% net, the owner. Great culture, great team. He's putting through apprentices. It's amazing.
He's on fire.
2 of his key employees are going to buy shares now. He was always smart, super intelligent, but he didn't he assumed law, right? Yeah. Now, let's do some math. We talked about this before we started, about the concept of dividing a cost by your net to find out how much you have to sell to replace that or to pay for that, right? So the benchmark for the industry is 20%. So you take $96,000 and divide it by 0.2, he would have to sell $480,000 of parts and service. Additional to pay for that loss. Now, that's the benchmark net, which he was already doing pretty good.
20, yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that are running at 10, 7, whatever. So then just before we started, I did the math on a 7% net, which is the average in Canada for the industry. A 7% net, you would have to sell 1.3 million more to replace that money. To recover it. So think of how hard you had to work for that, not knowing that.
96K could just kill somebody, kill their business.
Right. Yeah. So now let's go a little bit simpler. Somebody shows up in a meeting and they discuss how irritating the uniform companies are to deal with, and how they have these evergreen contracts, and how there's actual fraud. Like they're having employees sign the waybills, and the employees thinking they're signing a waybill, and the employees signed the contract. That happened to me. Signed the actual renewal contract, right? The delivery driver's going behind your back. And then somebody in the group says, well, here's how I got out of that. I got out of $8,000. We threatened to go to court, and, the contract was null and void and whatever. And so 2 people in the room going, you just paid for my whole RPM subscription this year by knowing that. And we could go meeting by meeting by meeting. So a lot of times coaches focus on
golden nuggets, cherries from the tree. These are all things that you're not going to find out if you're in a capsule.
Right. And the thing that I've been thinking about and dwelling on is we always focus on gross profit. We focus on net. We focus on sold hours per technician per day, average RO. like as coaches and experts, right? There's a lot of these number pieces that we focus on, and we don't really talk about expense management very much. I mean, they probably do in their sessions. I mean, I'm not privy to that, but in terms of when I spitball with Cecil and Vic and Bill and, all the camp guys and stuff like that, we tend to sort of stick around some of those same numbers. But when you start going into expenses, there's numbers, and I don't have it at my fingertips, but a 5% reduction in expenses can give you like a 15% increase in your net. Like there's these ratios. And so when you show up and talk to your peers about how they handle these different little expenses, and even the things like insurance, I'm having trouble with my broker. I'm storing tires now, and I need to add a rider for my stored tires. And my guy says they don't cover shops that do stored tires. And somebody else in the room says, well, I'm with this company. My broker's fantastic. And because of the internet now, I've got people in British Columbia on the west coast of Canada buying insurance from brokers in New Brunswick, in the Atlantic Canada, because you can do that. Because the New Brunswick shop said, my broker in town here is fantastic, and it has these underwriters. Next thing you know, a BC guy is buying from that. So my clients' suppliers are beginning to fall in love with this because they're getting business from other people.
Murray, you bring up such a great point. We can talk sales all day long and gross margin all day long, but cost management, is it a big part of what you do?
Not enough. It feels boring, I think. And even to me, to go through all the expense lines and stuff like that, I'm sort of thinking out loud here. Murray's admitting that maybe he should refocus that with his group.
I only look at the fact that the insurance thing is really critical, being sure you're covered, but maybe you can get yourself a deal, the uniforms, but even HVAC, are we insulated? Who's working the thermostats? All of these little tiny incremental things.
So you've given me an idea. So we do cover it. Every meeting, every group meeting, we look at the owner's current expenses as a total. We compare it to their average, and we compare it to their year to date. We do that. And then we go through them quickly to see if there's any red flags. I do that, right? And I have their peers look with me to see if they see any red flags.
Do you have budgets in your P&Ls?
I have a forecasting program. I got to demonstrate that to you guys one day. It's amazing.
Okay.
I'll give you some insight into a little sec before I forget this train of thought.
Go ahead.
And the most common things that the owners discuss amongst each other is insurance, garbage pickup, and uniforms, because those are these things that just are evergreen, that just keep going, and all of a sudden you notice that it's going up every once in a while. But I think what I'm going to do now that you've challenged me on this is I'm going to plan out and ask the group members, plan out one expense to discuss per meeting for this next year. So we're going to discuss 12 key things, right? So I'm going to ask the owners, right? What are the top 12 expenses you guys want to discuss? And then we'll do a deep dive into it.
But as a budget, for example, marketing, do you set a budget and or a KPI as a percentage of sales in all of these categories?
We have some of those. We have most of the categories done.
Okay.
I've learned from some of the camp guys that there's been changes. There are slight differences, Canada, US. There's a couple of different things because of how our medical stuff works and stuff like that. But we do have, I have marketing, cost of advisor and stuff
because
like that.
If my business is growing and I'm spending a little bit more on marketing, I still may be in tolerance as a percent of sales.
In fact, my app that I use to coach them with, the ones that I'm very confident that we have the correct guidelines, it tells them where they are relative to the guideline.
Okay.
So they will know.
All right, good.
So occupancy costs, right? Mortgage rent.
But every once in a while, other costs just creep up.
Exactly.
And you have to also be aware. And again, I don't know what your stand on the personal stuff that they may run through the business, how you sort that out, and if there's a drain on the business because of that.
Yeah, we do discuss that, especially when they're a new group member. We talk about removing, there's a term that Hunt uses for that, normalizing the income statement.
Yes, sir.
Right. So I get them to normalize it as much as possible with personal things. I say, look, if your whole family cell phone plans in it, whatever, that's going to be too nitpicky, but don't put your motorhome gas in there or don't, or your boat or whatever. So we clean it up, right? So that we're looking at real stuff. That usually helps us identify how they're paying themselves, owner's compensation. So we talk about that piece, but there's also a piece that they like the app for, and they put stuff in it, not the personal stuff, but they put capital expenditures in it that they're not supposed to. Right. They've done a new counter for their service advisors, right? It's, $8,000 of mill work and all of that, which shouldn't actually be on your income statement. That goes in the capital stuff.
Yeah.
But they put it in because they're beginning to use my app as a cash flow tool.
Bingo. I see. Yeah. I understand. Yeah.
And so I'm always clear, with a new group member, if that happens in a group, I'll explain to the new group member that shop owner is breaking accounting rules and breaking my app rules. But he's using the tool in a way that I love. So I forgive him. Yeah. There's things that I will not tolerate, like that draw the line. And there's other things like it. If that makes your brain happy with managing cash flow with my tool that I invented, kudos, right? Go for it, right? Now, unless it's extreme, like you're not going to put up a land purchase of $1.5 million in my app.
Wow. I had a blast. We talked about a million things here. This is great.
Awesome.
What would Murray do? I love this. Murray Voth, RPM training. Trust me, it took us a half hour to talk about what we were going to talk about. But this was great.
Awesome.
I think
glad to be with you guys.
We covered a lot of ground. You got to fly all the way back home, huh?
I do, but I get to see my daughter for a couple of days here. So she lives out here now. So.
Oh, really? Out this end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's already got brunch planned and yeah, we've got all kinds of adventures.
Well, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I work with my daughter.
That's beautiful.
Thank you, Murray. Appreciate you being here.
Take care.
Thanks for being on board to listen and learn from the premier automotive aftermarket podcast. Until next time.